All right, welcome everybody. This is Streamweaver, and I am back in Elder Scrolls Online in the Eldari Dominion in Auridon. I think I've got that name right. I'm going to be questing out at the north tip of the island today. I'm finishing up this zone quest. I've done a great storyline here in Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you for joining this stream. If you're a first-time viewer, it's great to have you here. If you're returning, it's also great to see you again. This is a new stream for me. If you've seen these before, you're aware of that. I've just decided to start getting into streaming a little bit. This is an amateur thing. We're not going to see me 5 nights a week, but I'll do this regularly. I've really enjoyed it so far, and talking with some of the people who drop by the channel has been a real pleasure, as well as the people leaving comments in some of the threads or emailing me directly. I've really enjoyed the feedback. I've gotten a little bit of feedback on the show, the few shows I've had so far. One of those pieces of feedback around not jumping around the screen too much, so I will try to be conscious of that and get a little better as this goes on. As always, go ahead and leave a like for this show. Either if you're seeing it on the YouTube archive, like it there, or on Twitch, please go ahead and give me a follow. I would love to keep doing this and see you in the future. Any comments you have about the show, suggestions, thoughts, things you would like to see, please go ahead. Leave those in the comments. And if you're watching the show live, go ahead and drop something in the chat for what you would love to see. I would have no problem going out to do that, especially if the audience is showing some kind of an interest in it. So, where have I been so far in the game? So I'm a new returning player to Elder Scrolls Online. I did play with it a little bit when it came out and dabbled with it here and again throughout the year or 2 years it's been out. But it never really caught my attention. And since the 1 Tamriel update, it really has gripped me. And it's been very enjoyable returning to it. The best part about it all is that all the content is essentially new to me. I haven't seen it before, so the storylines and the intricacies of the world, that's all new. It's not lost on me yet. So it's been a real pleasure returning to the world and experiencing this content. So really the bent of this show is going to be that since this is new to me, you can experience it with me as I go along and discover it. So if you've not played Elder Scrolls Online, it's a great way for you to get a vision of the gameplay. And it's also, if you've played it for a while, it's also get that experience of a new player once again. So this is my Nightblade character, Kafka. She is a level, I think, 22 now. Nightblade, yep, just made 22. I've been questing across on... I really need to get to learn how to pronounce this right. So I am going to actually look at the map one more time. For the life of me, I just can't remember it. Auridon, there we go. I've been questing through Auridon as part of the Eldari Dominion, uncovering a plot to assassinate the queen and to bring her down by the Veiled Heritance. It's the name of the rebel group. So I have deposed them from a few towns on this map. They've made some invasions on this wing in this town here. They've had some assassination attempts down earlier in the middle of the island, and now I've chased them down to some invasion that they seem to be behind at the north end of the island, which we have lost contact with. So Kafka's up here, the intrepid adventurer, is going to take a look, and I need to speak to this individual. That right there, which is quest marker. Again, I haven't seen this before, so this will be new to me. I'm going to grab this butterfly wing and see if I can get something interesting. I do craft, so it is something that I occasionally go ahead and I harvest as I move along. No offense if you don't like that, but we'll try to keep the kibitzing going. Homestead has just come out this week, and people have been hard at work sort of uncovering the intricacies of that, decorating their home. It is not something I've been able to get too deeply into, although I've enjoyed what I've seen of it so far. I've done the sort of the starter quest that gets you the free, that sound you hear, by the way, is an anchor that's landed off in the distance if you haven't played before. So I have not been able to get into the housing too much because it requires more advanced crafting. And although I am a crafter and I have a couple alts that do crafting as well, they really want you to have the 4 or 5 or even up to 8 that I've seen so far in the central crafting skill line to be able to craft a lot of that furniture. And I just don't have that yet. And it's not worth it at level 22 to just dump a bunch of points into it. So I will get to it. Right now, though, it's I'm banking all of these blueprints that I keep finding. So hopefully by the time that I get these skills up and I can make these items myself for my house and afford the new houses as well, I will be able to go ahead and get be able to craft those items fairly easily because I'll already have the blueprints. As you can imagine, right now the prices for the blueprints are pretty much insane on the world traders. Anytime a new craft or a new resource comes out like that, it gets pretty crazy in these events. So that's I'm not going to go ahead and buy those either. I just have the starter house, which is essentially an empty room with my horse on the wall. If you saw last video. So that's something I will get into over time. The prices of the small, medium, and large houses are fairly reasonable. You can find them, if you haven't seen them already, over in the Crown Store. So just go over to the Crown Store and you'll find houses and you can go ahead and preview them. You just click on them. You can go to the different houses. I've seen maybe 4 or 5 of them by now. They're all great. They all have a lot of interesting qualities to them. Some of them have outside regions, some of them don't. They come in staple homes, classic homes, and notable homes. So those are sort of the 3 tiers of them. They get larger as you go down the list, and they're all quite interesting. So I really look forward to being able to access that content sometime in the future and be able to enjoy my own little cat den with Kafka right here. So I was told to come up to this quester right here, and after aiding the people of Dawnbreak, Landare asked me to move down the road to Firsthold. If Dawnbreak faced the Daedra, chances are the city of Firsthold will as well. Landar told me that the northwest road of Daybreak, I should report to the first marine I can find. So that's what I'm doing here, and I found an invasion for a town that was southwest of here, and they were invaded by Daedra, which are sort of the demons here in Elder Scrolls Online, if you're not familiar with the lore. And I was able to banish those demons from the initial invasion, but it looks like there's a much larger invasion going on, or trouble up in this Firsthold up here. So let me talk to this marine and find out what is going on.
Hold there. Firsthold is under siege. We'll need you to head back to the main road.
Well, if you don't want my help, I don't know if I'm going to give it.
Sadly, yes. The attack is underway. Hold there. Firsthold is under siege. We'll need you to head back to the main road.
Okay, my old friend Razumdar, agent of the Queen, who I've been helping all along. I drop his name every once in a while. That seems to get me through the door, so I'm going to do that again.
Thank Mara. We could use you.
Yep, I know the Raz.
Everywhere. Portals to oblivion open within the city.
Well, that does not sound good.
Threatens to take Firsthold.
Who opened those portals?
It's hard for me to believe, but reports indicate High King Lady Estri is behind this. We hold the line here, but that could change at any moment. Battle Reeve or Selmo sent a runner requesting aid. He has a plan to deal with these beasts, apparently.
I will find this Battle Reeve, whatever that is.
Guild Hall should be straight ahead across the bridge. Trinamac's blade keep you. He's here.
So they know Raz. He gets around.
Behind the Battle Reeve. Said something about supporting the Marines and the guilds.
Razumdar is a great character. He's part of the main quest line here in the Eldari Dominion. If you play the game and you haven't played that quest line, I really suggest you try it. He's a really entertaining character. And I will say that these quests that I've seen, they are sort of building story throughout the zone. So it's something that I recommend if you haven't played ESO. I think you really will enjoy that. If you like story-driven games, if you like quest stories, especially if you like well-written quests and well-written world lore, this is really a great game. And people come to expect it from Elder Scrolls Online because of the success of Skyrim. But it's worth remembering that ZeniMax actually developed Elder Scrolls Online, not Bethesda. And they have done a bang-up job. I think that before One Tamriel, it seemed more kind of standard MMO-ish, but with the improvements since then, they really have taken to heart sort of the lessons of Elder Scrolls Online. So, and that transformed the game because of it. It really feels like that. But always, since the beginning, the writing has been top notch. And if you'll find little notes in the world that give you a idea of what the story is and what's going on. And you can find sort of related notes and related quests that give you sort of an Easter egg to a different quest somewhere else. And that's just super enjoyable. I tend to be like most EverQuest games, or excuse me, like most Elder Scroll games, excuse me, EverQuest. This is pretty much kleptomania, the role-playing game, so I tend to snap up everything I can possibly find. Oh, what's going on over here? I need to talk to this Battle Reeve guy after I take this dude out. Oh, stabby. My main weapons, if you've seen this before, you're familiar with it. My main weapons are a bow and dual wield. That's another one of those anchors. People trade them every once in a while, so you might hear that since I'm near one, but that's just kind of a separate player event that happens fairly frequently. My bow gets a little bit more damage as I get distance from the target, and it allows me to kite them a little bit more, so I am going to switch back and forth. So I switch back and forth between this bow and this dual wield. So I usually take them down pretty strongly with the bow, and when I get another opportunity, I just teleport in and take them out. If they survive that long, take them out with my dual wield. It's a pretty enjoyable play style, really. Again, if you've played this game, you know this, or if you watch my previous streams, there's a very active style of combat that you get in this game where you can dodge blows, especially special attacks. Everyone gets the ability to interrupt. I'm trying to find a way around these people without having to get bogged down in too many fights. And that sort of active nature makes stamina builds very desirable, very enjoyable to me. Oh, they killed that person. Oh, I will take revenge for you. Take that. Well, see, that's an attack. And if I block like I just did, which I actually don't think I did right, they're usually stunned. If they try to do a power attack on you, you block. The other is they have some sort of special attack, and that'll give something else with these little red lines all around them. And if you sort of double click in the right moment as they're getting ready to attack you, you'll knock them off balance and usually wound them quite significantly. So let me let me just sneak up on this guy, shall we? Stabby. And so it's very enjoyable. There's a lot of stuns available to the thief. That's no special attack there. So I didn't get to demonstrate it, but next time I do a special attack like that, we'll see if we can find somebody who's able to do that. Let me take out this little mage, teleport to him, and it stuns him. I might end up killing him before he's able to do anything. Yep. It's pretty good because it makes you feel very assassin-y. I will say that I am made of tissue paper. There are 3 stats in the game. If you played before, you know this. With my character, stamina, health, and magicka. Stamina and magicka basically are your damage stats. The more stamina you have, the more damage you do with physical attacks. The more magicka you have, the more damage you do with magical attacks. And you can choose any build you want. It's a very flexible system in Elder Scrolls Online, but I've chosen the stamina route. So the bows and the dual wield really do the most damage for me. And I focus on upping those as much as I can so I can get the most damage output from my character. However, that means I'm not putting a whole lot in my health attributes, so I don't end up with a lot of health, and I can't take a lot of damage. So the ability to take somebody out really quickly is a key to this build. It's enjoyable because it creates some challenging gameplay. It makes for sort of an enjoyable thief experience in the game, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, I don't want to get caught with those 3 guys. I can probably take them out. You end up kiting a lot in this build as well. So if you see me get involved in the fight, you'll see me kite people, even if I'm using my hand-to-hand weapons. The reason being there that I can roll and dodge, which you'll see me do. If you double tap in any direction, you'll sort of roll. This guy's appeared right behind me. You'll roll to avoid their attack, and that gives you sort of a dodge bonus, from temporary dodge bonus, which is great. But it also burns some stamina. So all of your physical attacks take some sort of stamina. Anything besides a standard attack takes some stamina away from you, and that basically fuels your special attacks. What is going on here? Who are these people? Talk to somebody. Why do they got a special... They got some kind of special icon above them. I don't know what that is. I'm going to take this person out and see if there is anything to be gained by... Oh, no. that is. Block. Aha. See, if you block them as well, they take a little damage. That person was so on the edge that they took some damage. I don't know what that special icon is here. Let me just get inside and talk to this person. Maybe it's related to a quest. That's a little confusing for me. Let's find out. There's the Battle Reeve or Kelmo.
If you keep that up. Stars above. You have no idea how relieved I am to see you. I hope you're resolved. We've got a hard road ahead of us.
Yeah, just tell me what you want me to do.
History has sealed the castle within a powerful barrier. It's powered by wards and guarded by Dremora. Destroy the wards, and we drop the barrier.
How do we do that?
One of the guild mages, Sinian, has a plan. We retook the hall here to gain access to a source of magical power. Head inside. She'll tell you what to do.
Good luck, sir.
Trinimac guide your hand, and may he protect us all.
Excellent. I shall see you after I kill everyone else. So I head into this building and talk to this next set of person. They're pretty good about not doing a lot of FedEx quests. Things are arranged pretty well, so you're not running around too terribly much. I very much appreciate that.
Welcome to Firsthold. It's just so lovely this time of year. Ah, well, don't suppose you have about 100 blades?
Positively minded, I like that.
All right then, time we saw more of town.
Huh?
2 wards power the barrier around the castle. Here in the hall, we focus our will, shape the tip of a spear. Alone, we'd be no match for a Daedric prince. Together, Estri's magics don't stand a chance. You're a smart one. We'll need to stay.
Wow, that is sassy.
You act as our focus, our agent in the world. Take this talisman, find the wards. One's in the east wing of the city, the other in the west. Just point, focus, and we'll do the rest. Just remember, it will take a moment or two for the ritual to do its work. I'd clear out the Daedra first, assuming you don't want to be eaten. Oh, and say hello to Razzie for me.
Razamdar is here?
Definitely. Didn't Selmo tell you? He's been trying
I
to find
kind of hope he
the
stays with my
barrier.
character along the entire
When
thing.
that thing goes
I will
down,
look for him. So I'm supposed to take this focus they gave me and run out to the different wards that they have, and I guess activate each one so that the city defenses can get going. That's a pretty standard. Who's that? Poultry's hard to find in this game. You can kill chickens, but they belong to somebody, and those people tend not to like that. Although I did just steal that. Which I intend to do, by the way. I will once I clear some of these quests. I am a thief. I'm on the thief line. I'll probably start doing the Dark Brotherhoods, but I don't know. So I'd actually love to hear from you in the comments. I'm thinking about doing either the Thieves Guild line after this island or the Dark Brotherhood line. And if you have an opinion or thought on which you'd rather see, would you like to see me continue on with the main quest? Would you like to see the Thieves Guild quest line or the Dark Brotherhood quest line? That would be great to hear from you, because I love to do any of them. I don't know which one I'll do live stream, but I'll definitely do one of them. So give your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which one you think would be you'd love to see more, which would be more entertaining, and I will endeavor to do that one. Let me take this guy out. It looks like he's sunbathing there in the Waterstone. Run up to him and kill him. All right. So this seems to be one of the spell-scarred ward. Charge this stone up.
Just one more ward to go.
All right. What is this? Is it some kind of... some kind of shield keeping me out. And it stuns me. That's not fun. That's the warden to the castle, I guess. So when I remove these, I guess that's what I'm taking down. Is that good to know? That's good to know. All right. What else do we have to get around here? All right, I'll just have to skirt this as best I can. I will take these people out. Again, with my bow, poop. All right, let me take this person out. I can usually get in 2 snipes before they take me out. Before they turn around, at least become unstunned. So I will take this mage out as best I can. And that fighter is going to run straight at me, obviously. and I will distance arrow, try to close with them. Block. And blocking didn't work. I'm too late. I always have this tendency to let my animation finish and I don't get a blocking effect in time. So I need to get better about that, especially when I'm talking in sort of these live chat. It's a little hard for me to pay attention, but I will get better with that in time. Let me take this guy out. Stuns him again. That's the first thing that happens to him when they get that sniping effect. And I can port over to him, take him out, port over to him, and take him out. Stand like that. Right. And that guy burnt down from the enchantment on my blade. Good, good, good. Looks like this stone is pretty clear. Oh, I've got a few guys worshipping around it. Man, these guys are very dedicated folks. Let me get my bow out and take these guys out too. And I got a knockback I use. That's good. And steady. So, I keep hitting the wrong keys here. I have one attack that does heal me a little bit. That's what I tend to spam when I get in trouble like this.
Wards are down. Find Razmdar. He'll get you moving.
Talk to Razmdar. Okay, so he is out in the courtyard. That's what I was told to find him. What is that glowing thing? No way through there. Let me just catch up to this guy. I'll stab him. It's nice that you can feel you can switch between either one, either the bow attacks or the hand-to-hand attacks, because specifically I hate to be stuck into one type of attack. Another thing that's sort of nice about this character build is I'm moving quickly. That's because I'm wearing the Knight. What's the set I'm wearing? I'm wearing an armor set called the Night Silence armor set, which I crafted myself. They have a bunch of armor sets in the game that if you're wearing a number of different items from the same set, you get certain bonuses, and they're progressive bonuses. Hey, Backstab Kitty, it's good to see you in the room again. You get these progressive bonuses on the armor, and this gives me full movement speed, which you see here. I'm trying not to run around and confuse people, but I don't have to worry about my slowing down when I'm doing normal stealth with this set on. So that's fantastic. There's my old buddy Razmdar, who's an excellent character, an excellent voice acted character in the game. He's been leading me through sort of this rebellion to overturn it, and I have been joining his Queen's Guard, or his least Queen's Special Agent group. So let's see what he has to say about freeing this Firsthold from the grips of the I don't know who that is actually.
It is good to
Demons.
see you again. Your talisman. Razmdar sees you have met Sinian. Cheerful,
Yes.
isn't she?
Excellent, Razmdar. This one is excellently pleased to see you as well. What is our next move?
We storm the castle and the realm beyond. This one imagines Estri is very upset. She threw in her lot with Dagon, and now nothing stands in our way.
Excellent.
Estri is vulnerable, but Tamriel is still open to the Deadlands. This must not be. We must close her gates, end the threat of the Daedra. Each gate is maintained by a sigil stone. Enter the portal, find the stone and destroy it. Raz is going to guess they will be guarded.
No problem. I brought arrows.
Just so, my friend. Good luck in there. Raz will rejoin Urselmo and the others. Ensure Firsthold is still here when you get back.
This one will see you soon, Razmdar. All right, excellent. So they also write the quests pretty well. I have to go through the portal. I have to get those stones, and I have to kill whoever's guarding them. Very easy. I love when they list them out like that. Razmdar is hugely entertaining. The writing and the voice acting in this game is really good. I really like it. Enter a portal to destroy a sigil stone. Refuge of the Dead. And as I was saying earlier, I really hope Razmdar stays with me through the quest on the Eldari Dominion side, at very least, through the main story there. It's enjoyable. It's much more enjoyable than the Harborage quest, so sort of the main central story quest that all characters get. Honestly, that one, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. But yeah, these quests, and I played on some of my alts, some of the early quests in the other zones as well. They've all been really well written, very enjoyable. There's another player who's apparently on the same quest with me as well. So, light the braziers to, all right, somebody died. I'll res them after I take some of these folks out. Block! Boink! I ate too much brownie. That's an excellent name. Juzo. Let's see what we got here. So stabby, stabby, stabby. No, I will block. And you see, they don't. The block some damage, so I barely took any damage there, which is nice. And but I'm very bad at sort of making that move. And I'm going to try to interrupt that guy, which I just did. You see the little swirlies around his head. When he gets those red marks, if you double click your mouse, you can sort of shove him to the side, and that interrupts whatever special abilities he was trying to activate at the time. Again, active combat in the game, very nice feature, very enjoyable. All right, what do we got here? So these are the braziers I'm supposed to light. Two. Seems kind of pointless to put a gate up if you put the key right outside of it, but especially if it's something as obvious as something to light. But hey, works for people in this world. Why not? Do we keep blocking each other? What's going on there? Okay. All right. So can I move through? Okay, I can. What just happened? Oh. What just happened? Light the braziers to dissolve the barrier. All right. Must have been laggy. All right. Sigil stone. Easy enough. I think I have 2 more of these to do, and that should bring down the wards that we're looking to. We can get to the central Daedra. Estri, which they referred to in the quest, that is the main person that's attempting to overthrow the queen. It was an advisor of the queen, and they have been betraying her behind her back, where she was earlier in the quest line. You find out she was very heartbroken to find out. So I think this is going to culminate with the sort of the conclusion. Ooh, there's a dude waiting on me. With the conclusion of that quest line, that should be pretty enjoyable. What is going on here? I've not had a good day inside the keep. Let me take that dude out just because I don't like him. Yeah, I'm getting used to this new snipe ability. If you watched the last couple of streams during the last patch, I mentioned that they swapped 2 abilities in the bow line. They also did that actually in the destruction staff line and a few others. So it used to be you had this poison damage over time, poison arrow that you could shoot at an enemy to open up. And the snipe ability was a later. These are Mage's Guild lore books that you get you some Mage's Guild experience. And the snipe ability was a later ability that you could learn that did just high burst damage. They swapped them out, so what am I supposed to do? Close more portals before I can get in there, I guess. All right, looks like they're around to the side. So they swapped them out, and I had a little trouble with my rotation early on, but I seem to have gotten that now. Really, the tactic now seems to be you need to maximize your distance from the target, get your bow out, and to get higher damage. There's a few passive abilities with bow that will let you increase the damage you do at distance, which I have those right now. So those are helpful. Get your max distance. Go ahead, snipe those person. You can usually get in 2 or 3 snipe shots, before they wake up. If you're stealthed, your very first shot will be very high damage. I'll make sure there's no chests around here. And it's gotten to be a good part of the rotation for me. It doesn't lend to the kiting style that I had before, but that's not as much of a problem for me now that I'm sort of used to it. And I'm not with equal level gear, which is I'm doing well, and I don't have level gear. I think I'm level 22 right now, and I've got level 20 gear, so I'm doing it's fairly well. You can't fall asleep and still win, but you don't have to really stress too much. You can do things like live stream or talk. That's how casual. It's casual enough anyway. that it's still enjoyable. But it's challenging that you have to watch out what's going on. Probably the biggest weakness in this build is I'm all focused on DPS, but because I'm so early in it, I haven't optimized passives and I haven't optimized gear to support DPS because it's just I don't want to spend a ton of time on that since my level is going to change so quickly. It's not gonna benefit me. So I'm sort of DPS. I don't have an ability to heal myself very well. So if I start to get into trouble, there's very few ways for me to turn it around, and that's hurt me on world bosses. Occasionally, it's occasionally hurt me with some of the there's a boss, there's a purple mob. It's hurt me with some of the anchor quests and things like that as well. Switch. And but it's still overall it's pretty good. It's an enjoyable build. If you watched the streams before, I alt a lot, and so this is no different. This character I tend to play solo, so it's a very decent solo character with the stealth. And the Thieves Guild line is something I'm really reserving for this character unless there's a compelling one to do it with my fighter or my healer spec. I usually reserve my healer alt to go out in dungeons with my guild and heal them. I enjoy that a lot, but playing a healer by yourself is no real fun. Even though, as I said before, Elder Scrolls Online lets you go ahead and you can do damage and survive as a healer. It's still not very fun because half of the abilities that you might use aren't available to you, and just for me, that's not a tremendous amount of fun. So I usually just reserve that healer character to play when my guild is online, and I play this character when I'm soloing. I do have a a pack character who is blocked, who is a fighter, and they have heavy armor, but I haven't really leveled them up. I haven't had that much time to level them up yet. And I've really mostly been enjoying this. So, as I was saying earlier, if you weren't around to join, feel free to leave in chat or comment in any of the videos, whether you see this on YouTube or you see it on Twitch. Go ahead and tell me if you'd like, which would you prefer? Would you want me to continue on with the standard quest line here for the Aeldari Dominion, or would you prefer that I follow the quest line for the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood? I'm going to be doing all of them eventually, but I'm going to reserve some for the stream. And I don't know when I'll get to the rest. But all of them are great so far. And it's all new to me, so none of it really matters. I've enjoyed it all so far. Well, you guys aren't providing me with an easy path through, so I will switch and take you out. Especially if you kite like I'm doing now. I got 4 snipes in, and I can push back and probably get another snipe in on this guy before he gets too crazy. Yeah, and that's all sniping. So, yeah, it's a pretty good ability. You have to kite a lot. Occasionally, I've backed into bigger mobs or groups of mobs, or I've aggroed whole areas because I'm not paying attention. I'm kind of a klutz when it comes to that stuff, but that usually creates a more enjoyable scenario for me. But so what? So, I've been known to get in trouble before. So I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you played through the Dark Brotherhood, or have you played through the Thieves Guild quest line? Which one would you recommend, even if you don't have a preference, which one I play? I'd love to hear your feedback and your experience. Did you enjoy them? Was there something, without any spoilers, was there something specific that you think I should pursue that would make it more enjoyable, especially if there's an Easter egg? I love finding little Easter eggs, or just at least getting into an area where I can find them. And this game seems to have a lot of them, which is very enjoyable. It's a fire trap. Ooh, that doesn't look pleasant. What is going on here? It looks like Genie from My Dream of Genie. Oh, to help if I have my bow out. Alright. Alright, where are we going? Alright, you guys. You don't take too terribly much damage from that trap. That's good, at least. I always feel like I'm missing chests if I go this way. What else have we got? Ooh, there's a boss. Okay. Switch over and try to take them out a little faster. Perfect. There's enough population on the server. I'm playing on PC, by the way. This is PC, PS4, Mac, and Xbox. PC and Mac end up playing together in the same world. Xbox and PS4 do not. I'm on the PC servers, so PC and Mac servers. I'm told anyway, those are the lightest populated servers. But given that, and maybe it's just that I'm in the earlier zones, they're really, my guild chat is up. They're really pretty enjoyable. I mean, it's pretty populated, so I don't feel like things are abandoned. Although I have run through with some of my harvesting, I've run through some of the zones that are mid tier or later tier. It seems like people are generally concentrated up in the later zones or the early zones. But even then, you still find people out there. So these world bosses, they're easy to get through. So there's a small enough population that you don't feel like people are running over you all the time, and there is a large enough population that you can get help. There's a lot of guild recruitment. It's definitely a very healthy game, and it's several years old. So seeing that sort of health in a PC version of an MMO several years after launch is really great to see. Even though they have a mega server, so there's only one server for PC and Mac. Razumdar, tell me the next
The
team.
gates are closed, and Tamriel is just a little bit safer. What do you say we put an end to Estri?
This one would like nothing better.
He and Sinian are already inside. We have one more portal to close. The High-Kin Lady Estri clutches to Dagon's robes, hides within the Deadlands. It would be Razumdar's pleasure to fight by your side.
Haha.
Follow. He shall lead the way.
Excellent.
This one shall open the door.
Excellent. So usually there's a boss fight at the end of these islands, it looks like. They tend to, I will say, they send in NPCs with you. They are not entirely the most helpful there, so count on doing most of the work yourself, which I suppose is good. You're supposed to be the big bad hero, right? So you should be doing it. Being the thief I am, I'm taking a peek to see if there's anything that I might be able to steal or swipe or borrow permanently from any of this place before heading into the. I'm not thieving. That's good. I'm a little obsessive in searching these things because. Homestead plans are new still, and the best way, at least I found, to get them is to just open up every barrel, every bucket, anything you can find in the world, and hopefully you'll find a few. And I've found a few, although I don't have the skills yet to really make them. And Kitty's saying planning on checking out Homestead, but not sure what server. Yeah, I think there's only the sort of the two, European or this. I don't know what it's like on the European server right now. I assume it's I was just talking about population a second ago. I should check it out. I don't know what the difference in population between European or North American servers are, if one is more populated than the other, but that would be interesting. And you can always get Homestead, since you get a free, if you followed the stream yesterday, you saw there's at least one free house that you do through an initial quest line. It's just a room in an inn, but at least it gets you a picture of what Homestead is like. And you can do that for any of your characters, so you can get them on all those servers. I usually just go where I know people. And maybe if we start getting a few regular people in the stream, maybe if folks are playing and they're interested in doing dungeons together, live streaming that could be very enjoyable. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Especially when you get some of these dungeons, playing solo a lot. I don't do a whole lot.
What do we have here?
Let me get my bow out.
Sent to slaughter.
So that is the trader, and there's some demons she is in cohorts with, excuse me. But I don't know if that person's going to show up or not. So, I'm just going to go ahead and attack her. Yeah, that got her attention. Oh, good. That person heals me. That's good. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Alright, these Aurochs are very damaging. They also explode when they die. Oh, my goodness. I have to use my self-heal ability. Thankfully, that NPC is healing me. I would not survive if it were not for that. Oh, that took me out. Like I said earlier, I made a tissue paper. It brings me down. I have enough weight. I have enough soul shards, though, that I can keep active and alive. I don't have a great ability to heal myself in the field. That creates some problems for me in these end game scenarios, but what are you going to do? All right, let me get back to combat here. I need to take out these flame works before they damage me too terribly much. That really, the 5 of them beating on me and her only healing periodically really kind of ruined my day there. And I can spam the snipe ability, which is sort of useful and nice. And I'm going to sit back and actually do that here while Raz takes most of the damage. That's actually terrible damage. Let's see if I can do more. Help Raz out. This will actually help me. Whoa! This will help me block if. Damn it! I resummoned these things. I'm going to stay close just in case I have the ability to sort of block their attacks. I also have a heal, that first ability that does multiple heals. That can get some health back. Finding that useful. And I'm kind of drifting off as I get into this combat. So, sorry folks, this has taken a little bit of my attention. Oh, no. Damn it. I got her attention. I should be using my stamina a little bit more. The truth is I'm kind of being a lame-o when it comes to this. Come on. I should be sort of rolling a little bit more, making myself a little bit more hard to hit. I will fix that when I play solo, but right now. And stabby. Okay. Ooh, only 2 deaths?
Destroy the stone. We'll see you back in Tamriel.
But it's so shiny. My precious. I want to keep it. Excellent. All right. A little bit of worse for the wear. I took a little bit of a beating there, but I finally got her. So this, I anticipate that town to be sort of back to its least happy state, and the fighting to be mostly done. Well, it looks like they've taken out. They got some remodeling to do. I don't know. Maybe they like that kind of thing. Razamdar, my friend.
Estri dead. Release found. Razumdar couldn't have asked for more. Even this one must admit, you do good work. Without you leading the charge, today could have gone very differently.
What now,
Queen Irene has arrived. She's just outside with her retinue. This one is certain she'll want to hear your report. Go. We will speak again soon.
As you say. All right. So hopefully I will get the thanks of the queen. And the queen is sort of a typical adventure queen. She used to do adventuring, which is apparently a job in all of these worlds, and she just recently became the queen. So she seems like a decent person.
The battle reeve tells me Estri is dead. I mourn her loss. She is the past, and you our future. Your service to our people has been exemplary. You have proven yourself a valuable asset to the Aldmeri Dominion.
Thank you. This one thanks you.
You will be honored and welcome. Our alliance of 3 peoples is fragile but beautiful. With you at its heart, I'm certain the Covenant and the Pact will learn to fear the Eagle's cry.
Okay, I got a skill point. I mentioned that quests give you skill points occasionally. There's several different sources for skill points in the game. Quests are one of them, especially these mainline quests. So that's great. I do wish they'd do a little bit better with the quest rewards. Most of them I can't use. And by 22, I'm actually finding it a little difficult to keep geared up.
The Veiled Heritance is proof of that. High Kinlord Rilis and I still have our work cut out for us here. The King of the Wood Elves informs me there's some manner of discontent in Eldenroot, our capital city. Meet with King Camor and Auridon and work to end the discord. Once local matters are in hand, I'll meet you in Eldenroot.
Yes, the classic go to the next zone quest.
Travel to Skywatch and look for Captain Jimala. I've heard she's a reliable captain with a fast ship.
She can bring you to the Port of Haven, which is just south of Eldenroot. And if she gives you trouble, tell her I sent you.
All right.
High Kin Lady Estri may be defeated.
All right, great. So I'm going to head out to Eldenroot, which I know is in Gratwood. The next.
Little brother?
What are you talking about? What's going on here?
You only call me that when you've done something you regret. Or expect
What is this?
to regret.
Naaman, then what have they told you?
When you snatched father's crown for yourself,
Uh-oh.
you never once called me little brother.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you know that?
What a brat.
Please, I must know.
I heard you declared my wife a traitor, that you ordered Estri's death. Well, she's gone now, isn't she?
Little brother.
Well, she did summon demons and try to kill everybody around. Did you look around?
Dear sister,
Did you look around?
you did what must be done for the glory of the Dominion.
Uh-huh.
How could there be shame in that?
I feel the same way, Your Majesty. I feel the same way. Huh. Well, the Queen character in this game seems to be actually pretty good, although I'm used to the Eldari Dominion sort of being the bad guy, the Thalamor, which these High Elves are part of, and she is the Queen of. I'm used to them sort of being the bad guys from Skyrim, and as far as I know, I'm having a little trouble following the timeline. If I understand it correctly, Elder Scrolls Online is set somewhere about 700 years before Skyrim. And then Oblivion is set sometime before that. And I can't keep it straight. I don't know why they don't do linear. It just makes sort of no sense for me. But in that timeline anyway, the Thalamor are pretty much the bad guys. However, being one of the Eldari Dominion, I would not probably share that opinion. But besides, this character seems pretty good. So it's a good storyline. But the brother that you just saw leave sort of reflects the effete, not sort of attitude of the Eldari Dominion that you're used to from Skyrim. So it's interesting. It is frustrating because I wish there was more continuity between the games. That jumping around in the timeline makes it a little disconnected, at least for me. It's not as I'm going to take a look around here and see if there's anything else to discover, a chest or anything. But the continuity suffers a little bit for me. I happened to do a turn-in quest on a place called Windhelm, which is one of the cities that you visit in Skyrim. But the zone it was in and the land and everything was completely different than Skyrim. And I wish they put a little effort into making them the same. As far as I know, there's some storyline where there was a cataclysm that changed some of the land, but a town doesn't move several hundred miles inland, which is sort of what that is in Windhelm is in Skyrim. Yeah, I don't see anything out here really to see. But it at least should look like it. I know that maybe models will be different or the scale will be different, but I do kind of actually wish that they had done a little bit more effort into the consistency between at least the land masses, because 1,000 years is nothing in geographic time. And Kitty's adding that ESO is about 1,000 years before Skyrim and about 700 years before Morrowind. Ah, okay. Still a little disappointing in that the towns are not better, or at least the landscape is not more consistent between them, but that makes a little bit more sense. So where's Oblivion and all that? Does anybody know? Do you know, Kitty, where Oblivion falls on that timeline? I'm still not quite sure. I thought Oblivion was considerably earlier than Morrowind. And all of these sort of fantasy medieval worlds seem to sort of be perpetually locked in the middle, in their sort of quasi-Middle Ages. That also makes it somewhat of a confusing aspect for me, because everything is 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago in our world, the Ice Age was just ending. So, really, really doesn't track to what we're used to, I was going to say humans, but intelligent beings at least seem to develop. Well, there's a fighters guild up here. Let's see if there's some snatchy stuff I can snatch from this fighters guild. They're often a good source for farming of goods. The other thing I'm going to look in As you can see, lots of thieves ransacking these places already. Thievery is pretty rampant ever since the release of the Thieves Guild content, and be able to fence and sell stolen items. I notice people in all the time trying to steal and sort of sell. Something I have noticed is you don't get a bounty if you steal something, or you at least look to see what there is to steal in front of people. So that's what I've been doing to see if I can find blueprints for housing, anything like that. Sometimes these closed bags, I don't think I've seen anything in there. Oblivion is between Morrowind and Skyrim. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. That actually sort of is linear. I don't get the reason for sort of rolling back in Elder Scrolls Online, but I have no idea. Maybe it's because they didn't want to have dragons in it again. It's hard to say. All right. So I do have a few more things left to do on this continent, actually. Not the least of which is these two sets of quest lines I have not finished yet. And I'm going to go ahead and start those. There's not something to lead me over there, but I know if I head over here, since I haven't done these yet, they'll probably give me some quest lines for this. So I'm going to head east and see what I can find in terms of quests along the road. Convenient that, having a little indicator that there's more to do in the world. If only life was like that. Yeah, I used to be a furiously intense player of a lot of MMOs, obviously, but I started way back in the tabletop gaming days, D&D and Greyhawk and all those really great old school games, and I spent tons of time learning that lore. I got to a point where I thought this was silly. I'm learning all this lore by hand, and I could have spent those brain cells or those neurons learning about the real world. And I did make an effort to sort of not get so much into lore, although I tend to enjoy it when I know it. But that's so Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online is one of the first games that really put me in a place where I kind of only know the lore slightly, and I'm sure I'll pick it up over time, but it's come slower to me than other games, I guess. I mean, the three factions in this game don't make it apparent. There's no cohesiveness. I have to remember the Khajiit Nord and Khajiit High Elf and Wood Elf, I think, are in one alliance, and sort of the Dark Elf Nords and the Lizard folks are in another. And there's nothing. It's not quite as easy as remembering, let's say, the Horde or something like that from World of Warcraft. So I can never seem to keep it straight in my head. That probably makes me a bad gamer, but oh well. That is life. So Kitty's saying that they understand that they went back this far to sort of explain the difference in lore between what you see in Elder Scrolls Online and what you see in Skyrim. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That makes some sense. You still have to have continuity going forward, so that would probably be more difficult. I'm not entirely sure why post Skyrim would not have been suitable for them, because here's a quest, Lady Alanwi. I think I've actually.
Sorrendil, please, come back.
I think I've seen her before. Yeah, I've been worrying about her with her brother or something like that. Let me see what's going on here.
Silly, stupid boy. He's going to get himself killed.
Who? What's wrong?
My son, Sorrendil, scion of the last High Kinsman, Rillis the 12th. I was Rillis's mistress, and now my son risks his life for some fooled treasure.
Alrighty.
He wants to prove himself to his ancestors. He thinks there's some sort of treasure deep in the vaults. Sor wants so badly to be a Rillis. I just want him to be safe. Please, we don't know each other, stranger. But you have a mother's gratitude for your kindness.
All right, so another guy has gone astray. That seems to happen quite often here. A lot of love of family. That's a big theme in a lot of the quests I see. And there's a dungeon out there I need to go for the Undaunted Guild, which I have not been into. But let me shape this one up first. This actually might be the dungeon. Where am I going here? Yeah, maybe we'll see. Oh. Aha! They're yellow. For some reason, they're not attacking me. That's good. Yeah, lore-wise, I'm not sure what lore differences they needed, so I guess that's a missing piece of information for me. Why these are Thieves Guild boxes, you find them around the world. They contain stolen items that you can usually sell through fences back at the Thieves Guild, by the way. So again, if you're new to this like me, it's sort of an enjoyable thing. There's every major city has an underground area you can go to that has sort of fences and money lenders and so forth, all part of the Thieves Guild. That makes that extra depth in the world and actually has a great feel for being a thief and being a part of some sort of underground or underworld figure. So I enjoy it, but there's a limit to how many items you can sell per day. You can improve those skills. It's called legerdemain, so you can you can sort of tell yourself to be a better thief.
As heir to the name Release, I
And
command
I
the
enjoy
vaults
that.
be open.
Commands, that dude.
Sarandil, leave this place, bastard, or face the wrath of my loyal guards.
Father, I'm your son. Don't turn me away. It's mine by right.
Huh. Yeah, I wanted to listen to that, so I'll talk to him in a second. But yeah, I guess I wasn't sure because it seemed like the lore in Elder Scrolls was completely ripe for factional warfare or whatever they might want to do in Elder Scrolls Online. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure why after Skyrim they didn't choose to continue Elder Scrolls Online. Kitty's saying that they guess it went back in time to be able to continue the timeline for Elder Scrolls 6. And that makes sense. It's sort of the Star Trek problem, right? J.J. Abrams takes over. He wants to do his thing, but he doesn't want to invalidate the Star Trek universe. So he essentially forks it by creating this other alternate timeline. Now, they seem like they didn't want to do that here in Elder Scrolls. That makes total sense. So instead, they went back so far that they can deal with the lore in a general sense, but deal and have the specifics be for the game in a way that wouldn't necessarily impact things going forward. I think that makes sense. It does hamstring them a little bit in that it excludes them from things that we know never show up again, like dragons. So there'll never be any dragon expansion. That's a little disappointing, but I don't know that I would have done anything different. That's a totally reasonable design choice. Ironically, World of Warcraft has made that choice to go ahead and split timelines, and now with all the expansions, actually, it doesn't make any sense what's happening where and what time loop people are in. But that's the Austin Powers rule of time travel, is it just makes you cross your eyes, and best not to explain. All right, so let's see what's up with this dude.
Banished to oblivion, and the man still won't acknowledge me. Who are you?
That dude's mother? He's looking... I was led to believe you were younger, sir.
Damn it. She doesn't think I can handle myself. I'm a Release. The blood of
I would agree with her so far.
warriors flows in my veins.
Yeah, he's
helm,
petulant.
It imbues the wearer with the strength of a mighty warrior. It's the birthright of my family. Been in the Release line for generations. All the way back to Release the First.
I suppose that beats working out or training.
No, I mean, you can't. It's in the vault below us. The vault is shut fast by a trio of wards. Each ward is guarded by one of Release's loyal captains. And only I know how to lower the wards.
All right. So
Fine,
you need
fine.
me to do
I'll
the
repay
work
you for
and
your
you
time.
to do
Just
the
remember,
easy part.
The helm will only work for a scion of House Release. It's no use to the likes of you. Let's go.
Boy, that dude is pretty uppity for someone who needs my help. Okay, Eastern wards. Let's take these wards out. I still have the other quest locked, so let me take these wards out. Let's see what I have to do. Oops.
Be gone from this place.
Oh, that's a purple mob. I will try to kite them as best I can. And oh my goodness, that dude is totally worthless. Here is the rolling I talked about earlier, by the way. Boy, there. I have a special, that's an ultimate ability that you can build up as you block an incoming special attack. These ultimate abilities can generally, they charge up as you make attacks. Block them. I don't really block that well with a bow. That's actually probably intentional. But yeah, the kiting's working out. Sometimes it's disappointing. It doesn't make me feel all that. That's the block that if I do it right, it makes them go ahead and it stuns them. So I guess it's not guaranteed. Used to be guaranteed a lower level. It's probably just a level thing that I'm getting more powerful, and things are not guaranteed. So that's important to know. All right, I have 2 more wards, and my medium armor has been increased. That's good. Actually, I have a character point. Let me see if I can spend it on something. Speaking of, so executioner. Let's see, my weapon has a scatter shot. I can transform that. So if you haven't seen this before, you spend points on abilities. For instance, if I wanted more dual-wield abilities, I can get more of those right here. That's nice to have, but primarily since I'm a bow character, you get an ability, you spend a skill point to get an ability. Once you build up enough sort of experience or use of that ability over time, you can do what's called transforming them. So lets you tailor instead of achievements or something you might have in another MMO, you have to actively improve certain skills along certain lines. So I have one option where it increases the damage and knocks me away from the target as well. And this is a scatter shot, which is it's a arrow that stuns them a little bit and knocks them back. So I can add an ability that increases the damage a little bit and puts more distance between us by knocking me back as well. Or I can the new effect which heals me after the disorient ends. So the enemy is disoriented for just a little bit, knocked back and disoriented, and that would heal me a little bit. I've been complaining that I don't have enough abilities for healing myself, so I'm actually going to transform it or morph it to that. All right, that gives me one more ability to heal myself and sustain myself in the field. That's actually fairly useful. Now I have several, actually. I have a dual wield ability that I can hit people and heal myself. I have an ability called Siphon, which isn't particularly useful to me, that I can use. I'm trying to get around these guys. I'll try sneaking. And now I have this other ability. Woo, there's 3 of them that way. This other ability, which lets me knock them back, and it also heals me. So there's the knockback ability and the heal. Yeah, as soon as they were done, it heals me for 2,000. And not bad. That's going to come in handy. Because not having a way to sort of recover after I get myself in trouble has been hurting me, as you saw in sort of in that boss fight that I had. So, going a little bit further with that has been helpful. Oh, man. All right. Where are you going? There he is. All right. I hear something. I'm guessing that's the... What is that? I should just go ahead and start sniping people since they're going to take me out anyway. Oh, that's a purple mob. Another purple mob. Knock them back and heal me. Come on. Darn it. So I just have the hardest time. I just have the hardest time with some of these folks. Oh, they're healing me. They're raising me. That's good. Accept. Thank you, sir. Thanks. Yeah, Kitty's saying that they sincerely hope Bethesda does not change the Elder Scrolls formula in Skyrim much. The game is amazing. When they want something changed to a personal preference, we mod it, and they do not have that. Give us the Elder Scrolls game we are used to, and leave the rest to the mod authors. I would agree. I think that has been extremely useful. The mod community has been really hugely beneficial. They did open up modding to the Elder Scrolls Skyrim on the PS4 finally. I think that's the thing they have to be able to achieve, is allowing modding on the platforms. Because doing it on PC alone, that's of limited use to the community because so many people play on consoles. Although I am a PC gamer, I do recognize just the population dominance of consoles. And while I own a console, I really don't game on it. I'm looking around to see if there's a chest, by the way. I still understand that, generally speaking, having a game be successful on all platforms drives more sales across the board. It drives better game design decisions. It drives developers to stay more engaged with their process and to really concentrate and focus their thinking on players and the player base and what they're going to do with it. So yeah, I totally hope that to see a similar formula. I would like to see if there's any changes or improvements. I'd love to see it in the AI of the world. Something I actually love about Skyrim is, and even Oblivion had this in very well too, is that the world seems at least somewhat alive. A little bit automated, obviously, but a lot of the sort of the NPCs walking around, sort of their dialogue, their daily activities, that all brought the world to life to me. And we are in a state where certainly AI can do a lot for them. How much they're willing to invest in that as a game resource, that remains to be seen. And I don't know what conclusion I would reach if I were them either, actually. But I think that, we've seen those games. We don't need to see them again. I don't just need a reskinned Elder Scrolls Online. And I don't need to see just a prettier game. As a matter of fact, graphics have gotten to the point that pretty's not enough. Modders can make things prettier almost automatically. So I would prefer to see more intelligence to the world, more adaptability to the world. That's been sort of an elusive feature. There's another purple mob that's probably going to kill me. That's been a sort of an elusive feature of most of these games, is to truly adapt the world. I remember when they started talking about EverQuest Next, the big thing that sort of excited me about it was the idea that they were going to use machine learning and AI to really bring the NPCs to life. So they weren't just sort of mobs placed in a certain field at a certain location. They really were going to feel... Well, that ability's coming in very handy, by the way, to heal myself. I have to include that in my rotation and my sort of active dodging. But yeah, having the world to seem truly alive with more complex behavior is something I would like to see in the next Elder Scrolls Online. I would also like to see more of a buildable and modifiable world. So this has a nice ability that once you're sure, glad to have you along, buddy. Once you sort of satisfy a quest, the world changes a little bit, and that's nice. But I really would like to see the world adapt. The other feature I'd love to see in an Elder Scrolls game is not online, but I would love to see the ability to play multiplayer, not an MMO, but maybe bring in one or two friends. Hell, they can control your companions if that's it. Maybe not even play a full-blown character, because it'd be hard to have like 12 Dragonborn running around, right? But it would be nice for friends to be able to drop in, see each other's world, especially if the world adapted and really changed to the point that everybody's playthrough was truly unique in some way and really sort of modified the world in some way that was worth seeing and worth experiencing. The last bit I'd like to say is I actually would love to see more. Sort of the Radiant system is their AI quest system, which makes repeatable quests. In Elder Scrolls Skyrim, at least, that basically just refilled caves and dungeons with mobs. Maybe change the mobs out, thieves in one time and skeletons another. And I would love to see something much more complex, actually have stories woven there.
Don't worry, Mother. It's safe now. Trust me.
All right, let's see how the family's doing.
The vault is open. Are you ready?
Sure.
Mother will stay here while we're down in the vault. We will fulfill my destiny.
Is your destiny to cringe in the corner? Because that's what I'm seeing so far.
A powerful Release warrior. I'll be able to keep her safe for the rest of our lives.
If you say so. All right. Enter the castle vault. So, yeah, I would love to see that Radiant system improved, where I know that was, again, a big draw to EverQuest Next, where they were bringing in a company called Storybricks, which they did something called natural language processing and sort of what's called semantic technology, which means they're able to tailor data that has context and meaning within the database. So you can infer statements with data that you can based on a set of criteria about the kinds of things that maybe someone might like. You give them properties like they like gold. Gold is a type of metal, and that gold might have additional property that it has a raw material component, and the raw material component might have a property that is found in the ground, and that an AI script might be able to infer that this person would be desired to sort of get into underground locations to find gold. And that's a simple example, but that's an example of what these what is this person doing? Let's see.
I'm Aurelius, and I'm here for what is rightfully mine.
Oh my goodness, you walk right past your father's ghost, dude. But yeah, with that ability, they can do quite a bit. And I would love to see that in the next Elder Scrolls game.
Stop them!
I don't think Daddy wants you to have that thing, dude. My heal ability. Yeah, that heal is pretty good too. It's taken me up about a third. So that's enjoyable. Do some stun and interrupt, so let me... Come on, you. I don't know why, but when I get rooted, I can't use my teleport. That's very frustrating. I don't seem to be able to move. I don't know what's going on. That's something I don't like about this game. Is when you get ability effects on you, there's just a bunch of light and particle effects in the world, but it's not always clear to me what's happening. That makes it a little bit hard to play sometimes. Kitty saying, was thinking about the same thing. Co-op playing an Elder Scrolls game is so much fun. You want to share it with a friend, but I think it would take away some of the feeling you get from the Elder Scrolls world. English is not my language, so it's hard to explain what I mean. Yeah, I get that. And actually, I love that international audience for the Elder Scrolls, by the way. But I know what you mean. I think that it's debatable whether you truly would enjoy it with a friend. I know the games have tried that. There was a lot of multiplayer for Neverwinter Nights and multiplayer for a few games like this. And I think that it's easy for me to, as a player who personally would enjoy it, to say we should do that. But as a game developer, if I was looking on spending precious development time and money on it, I think it's reasonable that someone comes back and thinks that that's not worth the investment because there's not enough displayed interest in that, especially to drive sales. I guess that's what they're looking for. I mean, they're a business and they have a right to be a business. That doesn't make them evil. And these people need to get paid, and they want to make sure they get paid not just for this game, but for the next one that they make too. So in order to do that, they need to make sure that they're securing their investment. And I think that that's totally reasonable. What is this dude doing? I don't have I'm supposed to follow him. All right. I guess I'm just supposed to kill these folks. But I don't have a straight line with my arrows, so I'm going to have to get all the way back here. You can get pretty far with the snipe shot in this, which is pretty nice. Oh. And I've tried kiting around obstacles to sort of block people, but I have noticed that the algorithm, it really doesn't care. If you're, if it looks like if it starts targeting you when you start out, it has no problem going through objects or going through pillars to get to you like they just did there. So that's a bit, I don't want to say frustrating. It's not frustrating. It's just counterintuitive. And it takes you a little, once you start thinking you're going to make your way in the world on a certain tactic, and yet it takes a second to realize that that's not going to work. That usually comes at the expense of a few deaths.
We're almost there. I can feel the power in the air.
I don't see any chests that I've missed. And I know what you mean about sort of playing with language. I've tried to play with... I speak a little Spanish. I speak a little bit of French. At least I'm trying to speak a little French. So I've tried to play games with in that language channel, and it's difficult enough to sort of speak the language that's non-native for you, but it's very challenging, especially if you're playing a game and you're concentrating on your rotation and you're trying to keep everybody alive, and then everyone's using slang terms. It makes it a little bit more difficult.
Help me! Help! I am Aurelius!
We warned you.
We
Tried
did
to
warn
stop you. Only those with pure blood can master the helm.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the family.
That's kind of racist.
Not a slave! I'm Aurelius! I'm one of you!
Oh boy. That ain't good. Purple mob. Alright, at least it didn't aggro on me, so I can get back and try to take this person out. So apparently what happened is this person trying it on was unworthy, which, having adventured with them, I gotta say I concur. But they took and transferred him into a werewolf. Very racist society here. Back. All right, start kiting. They're not too fast, thankfully. I can slow them down. I could do a little bit better with my rotation. I have special abilities I'm not using. That little fan ability right there, that slows them down. I should be using that a little bit more, especially giving myself some time to kite. Slow them down. I guess that's a howl. I'm not staying around to find out, though. Kiting works against this guy. He's just not very fast. Aha! All right. It's hard to say. I guess they have different damage tolerances, but some of the purple mobs, I just have the hardest time in the world killing them, and others I seem to be able to take out like him without much effort, as long as I kite around. But I guess they're built for different fighting styles, so that makes sense.
And then led the mob who killed him.
A bunch of spiritual regret, obviously. So this is a story of the helmet. What's this here? I don't see any chest. Sure would be nice if there was one. Yeah, Kitty's saying, yeah, they noticed that line of sight doesn't work if you haven't engaged them already. I haven't tried moving behind a pillar.
Mother wore the helm after father
That looks
died.
like it might at least make them run around the pillar. If you've already targeted them and started your attack, maybe that would make them at least run around the pillar to get a beat on you, which might be useful. Although I guess you wouldn't be able to take a follow-up attack. That's something to think about. I'll have to try
I wore
that.
the helm at the Battle of 10 Mars. I slew my son with my bare hands.
Mama is not going to be happy that baby's dead when I get up there.
Uncle hid the helm from me for years. I ripped his throat out on my birthday. The helm is our power source, and our curse. Only a true son of Relis can wear the helm. Now, be gone.
All right. I didn't want to be down here in the first place. You were just snivelly little wolf buddy. Yeah, there's a lot of tactical depth to the game. It's something I enjoy about Elder Scrolls Online. I've been saying already, and that still applies. A lot of tactical depth. That said, I'm not paying attention like I should. I'm just enjoying the game. So I actually guess that's a feature of the game, right? If you're enjoying it so much that none of this really bothers you, I think that's something that's something fairly useful. All right, sorry about your kid, Lady Alanwi.
Again. Something's happened.
Yeah.
Where's my son? Where's Sorendil?
I have good news and bad news. The good news is he's not a werewolf anymore.
Gone? How? What happened down there?
He took should I lie? Let me see. Should I lie and make her feel better? He telling her he fled through a magic portal. I'll tell him what he did. He was a sniveling little kind of jerk, so I'm going to tell her what he did. He tried to attack me. I had to kill him.
I somehow knew it would end this way. Thank you for listening to a mother's plea.
And another reward I can't use. All right, complete quest. All right, so you might have saw earlier, this was sort of black for me, which means there's an open quest there. There's one left here. This is the last quest in the zone, I think, actually. There's some housing quests. There's some zone bosses I have not taken out yet. But those housing quests are just purchases, actually. They're not quests. And I have this undaunted quest for the banished cells, which I'm going to have to do in a group. So I won't be able to do that today, but I will run over and do this tower quest, whatever's over here, to find out. And what's the best way to get there? Let me get this south down the road, and I can probably pick up the quest. By the way, if you're looking at my map, you're seeing a lot of clutter on it, and that is because I'm using plugins. One of the great things about the Elder Scrolls Online is that they allows the ability of add-on and mods, and they're pretty powerful, actually. They do more than most Oh, I can't get between those guys. It does more than most of the mods I've seen for most of the other games. So it keeps data. There's a lot of market mods. I find the harvesting and gathering mods to be very, very useful. I have a mod here that puts, every time I harvest a node, it puts that node on the map for me so I can come back. I've seen add-ons like that for games like World of Warcraft and so forth. But something that's particularly nice is I have a sort of what they call crafting writ mod. So if you haven't done crafting before, once you get sort of enough of a crafting skill and you get certified, you can go ahead and pick up daily quest essentially for making certain types of items, and the item will rotate out that you have to make, but it's a few items of some skill level that you currently own, and then you have to turn it in to sort of a quest vendor, and you get a little bit of extra sort of quest experience for that day. You get a little bit of gold and maybe some items for that questing line. So it's nice. And I'm actually kind of questioning why. Oh, there's a chest up there. I'm going to try to get up to that chest. I question why they sort of have it, because the most effective way to get skill up is to buy high level items on the guild market or the guild vendor, and then just deconstruct them. That's by far. I'm not sure how to get up there. I will find out. And you can shoot up pretty easily, especially from low levels like I am. And I don't have a high level character, so I'm not bankrolling them. I was able to do it just taking a day or two to watch the market, see what I could buy cheaply that was at the level 50 and the 160 champion level as well. So it was easy enough to buy that, and I could just shoot up levels pretty quickly. But anyway, where I was going with that is that those daily writ crafting, that's pretty tedious. You have to... I still have the public group dungeon. Kitty was just saying I have the public group dungeon. That's what I was pointing out. That's actually for the Undaunted level line quest that takes me down into that dungeon. I would love to do it. Maybe I'll give it a shot just to see what it's like. I'll probably die. But as far as I know, and maybe someone in the chat can help me, if I'm not incorrect, dungeons are really meant for groups, if I understand it right. And I don't think I'll probably be able to solo it. And I'm not sure if in the live stream I want to go ahead with a pickup group, especially since people can be kind of jerks when it comes to damage DPS characters who are not optimized, and I'm certainly not optimized. This chest is master level. I might be able to do it, actually, since I put a point or two in ledger domain to make lock picking easier. So I'm going to try it. I might have to be quiet to concentrate on it, because master is going to go pretty fast, but I am going to give this a shot to see if I can unlock this chest. No, I don't think I'm not going to make it. Damn it. And it locks you out for a few minutes once you fail on it. Master's probably just a little bit more. I think I only have one level in the ledger domain skill for chest, but I'm kind of dying to see what's in that chest now. It always kills me. Curiosity did kill the cat. I want to I'm hoping that master level locks make the treasure inside. Oh, look, there's enemies there. Covenant enemies, so they've been invaded. I'm sure whatever quest I'm going to get in this region is going to give me a quest to take out these Covenant invaders. That's the Daggerfall Covenant, which is one of the 3 factions in the game. So I am with the Aldari Dominion. There's the Ebonheart Pact, the Aldari Dominion, which I am part of, and the Daggerfall Covenant. The Daggerfall Covenant seems to be invading the lands. And there's some more Covenant rogues over there. Invading the lands of the Aldari Dominion. So how am I going to find that quest marker? I was imagining it's along the road here. Yeah, I'm imagining it's along the road. So Kitty's telling me you have the group dungeon, Undaunted, the Delve solo, and the public dungeon, difficult to solo, preferably a group. So they are... Oh, the Undaunted stuff is definitely a group dungeon, huh? All right. I don't know what it says on the map. Does it say public dungeon? I thought I went up to it and it said public dungeon. I'm guessing, and this is my newness to the game, I see these little plus signs next to the dungeon. I'm guessing that means something, and I would venture a guess at difficulty, but I don't actually know if that's the case or not. So, do they come in like 2 pluses or 3 pluses? Are there 4 plus dungeons, something like that? That wouldn't seem to make sense because I haven't seen them.
Or are you afraid to singe your furry tail? This one's furry tail caught dinner, or have you forgotten? It is you who wanted to cook the meat.
I love these little world vignettes that you run across. There's one where a Nord is insulting an Argonian about what they call their histories. That is absolutely hilarious over in the Ebonheart pack. What happens if I light this? Do they get upset at me or something?
My thanks. Much appreciated.
Well, you're polite. At least there's that. That's cool. There's no reason to include that except to have that little scripted event. That's awesome. I love little world, like I was saying, I love Easter eggs. I love little world vignettes like that. The public dungeon is to the south and is sort of a grotto icon. That's this right here. Okay, I see. If I can get around my little icon. So that's the public dungeon. Taltmore Gully. I'm guessing there's one in every zone. Again, it's not something I've experienced with. I might try that a little bit after we sort of wrap up. If this goes quickly, we'll see. I'm just planning on doing about an hour, which I'm way over now, which is not a problem. I might go to 2 hours and see how that, at least finish up this. And if there's some steam in me, I might turn and try to get to that public dungeon, at least to see what it's like, maybe kill a few mobs and do something. So I'm guessing if I go into this region, so here I am. If I go north, I'm hoping to find some quest giver that tells me what's going on in this region. But it looks like a Covenant invasion of some kind. So I'm probably going to have to clear out, which has been most of the quests, honestly, in this zone. Either there's one earlier where vampires sort of taken over an area. There's some really just well-written quests. Here we go. There's a scout here. Uh-oh.
Please, stars above, help me.
Oh, if only I was a healer.
The daggers. They're here. They followed us home.
Oriel, forgive us. We rendezvoused with a Covenant officer and her husband. She wanted to defect. The damned daggers caught wind of it and chased us all the way from Kefram.
No idea where that is, but okay.
She's on a ship down in the cove. You have to find her before they execute her.
What?
When you've got her, get her up to the lighthouse. That's where you'll find the remainder of my squad.
I will get her.
My comrades at the lighthouse, they can't hold out forever. And who knows when the daggers will decide to off the orc.
The defector's an orc.
She's thrice blessed she is. Lacasgra Groramat commanded a unit in Glenumbra, saw the hypocrisy of the daggers firsthand. She and her husband managed to flee to the wilds of Kefram. Got us word through a Bendari peddler. Think so. As far as you can trust any orc. She's loyal enough. Refused to leave her husband behind. No negotiation on that point. Don't recognize my insignia, do you? We're with the Talons. The Queen has her eyes, yes? The Battle Reeve has his talons. We work with some of the other covert units. Provide strong arms where they're needed.
That's me. I am a covert unit. Me and Razumdar. The two of us together.
You've got it. Breath of Oriel. A few times we were their only protection. Don't know if any of the eyes are still up there with my squad.
All right, so looks like we have a defector orc that was part of the Daggerfall Covenant who decided to switch sides to the Eldari Dominion. And during the defection, apparently it went wrong, and the Covenants chased the Eldari Dominion soldiers, the Talons, which are sort of a secret operational branch of the Eldari Dominion, and are held up in this little city. So after I grab some of these runes anyway, I will go in. What's the best way in? Do I go in this way? I have to get up to rescue this person on a boat and get up to the lighthouse. Looks like there's no reason to go in that way. Let's see around here. Always looking for chests. There's night. Aha! Simple. I should be able to do this one, no problem. I really could use a sword. 2 swords dagger would be great. Bow would be even better. Of my level, and blue. Steel great sword of flame. I think that's a 2-handed sword, so that's probably not going to help me. Yeah, 2-handed sword. Oh well, let me see if I pick something up. No, bow shock. Nope. 22, my current level, but not any better than this bow I had crafted by one of my alts. Yeah, I don't have any weapons that are really helping me out, and I don't want to break up my armor set because of the special abilities it gives me. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, I went to the trouble of crafting all this gear. At least it's going to last more than 2 levels. I guess that's kind of nice, although I'm one of those people, it pains me to have gear that's not quite at my level. It always kind of irks me a little bit. But I should be a little bit less of a baby and just adventure on. I could blame my dying on that, but I'm not. I think my dying is just from my lameness and my inability to keep my abilities right. And I'm having the hardest time finding the 3 and 4 keys. I keep thinking I'm hitting one and I'm hitting the other. So, yeah, it's totally my fault, and I have to take responsibility for that. I'm looking through here for some nice treasures. Kill the people, take the loot. Kill the people, take the loot. Aha! Oh no, that's not a chest I can use. That's a bummer. That is a bummer. I really want housing blueprints. That's what I really want. I've got probably eight of them in my bank so far. So I've been finding them out there. Just again, I'm not yet. They want you to be a higher level to be able to craft them. So enter the banished cells. For some reason, I have that selected. Let me select this. Find the Covenant defector. Okay, I'm gonna have to take this guy out. 2 snipes. I don't think he's even going to get up. Haha. I got 2 of them. I will take out the rogue since the soldier will come running at me. And I put a small dot on the...
Pride of the lion. Circle around.
Alright. There's a dot that I transformed that snipe to. Now I'm hurt. I'm going to use my knockback again. That'll heal me. Block. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good to see these as the level progression goes, how combat changes. So blocking earlier levels, it seems like you got all abilities. So if I blocked, I would get I would not only take a lot less damage, but I would stun the person who tried to hit me. Now it seems at least like I block and I take less damage for sure, but it's a sort of a coin toss as to whether I stun them or not. And I don't know if that's related to a stat or skill or something like that, but I wonder if health is related to it actually, but that would be kind of cool for tanks. Go away. Poink. But yeah, it would be pretty cool if it was related to health, because one, it's hard. It's a little painful to put points in health, because even with my little fighter character, because as far as I know, it doesn't do anything. And that little red icon in the lower part of my screen, it means I'm out of charge on one of my abilities. So let me charge this up with one of the soul stones I have. That puts magicka back into it. And as you can see, my daggers are good because I use the bow a heck of a lot more. But yeah, so what I was saying is health doesn't get you anything directly. I know that improving my stamina is going to get more damage on this character, or if I improve my magicka on my magicka-based characters, I'm going to get more damage for my spells and more ability to cast spells. But I'm going to go in some of these extra rooms to see if I can get some treasure. Some treasure, fat loots. Fat loots. Big fat loots. I hear a thief box somewhere. That's good. So that little buzzing sound is often a Thieves Guild box hidden somewhere. Probably up there, I'm guessing. I don't know how I get there, but damn it. I don't want to fall into the water and have to swim back out. I'm guessing that that's on the top deck. You can hear that little sound being made. That indicates that there's some sort of thief box around, where it's a Thieves Guild stash. I keep saying thief box. That's probably not a very good word, but it's a Thieves Guild stash. It has some items in it that you'll have to pawn, or you'll have to do something with to fence them. And the sound just went away, so I'm thinking that other person just found it. But I did not find it in time, so fair enough. I think they respawn in the world, although they look to be random locations. I hear it again. Where is this thing? I'm probably running right by it. I bet you maybe it's back here. I hear it most on this side. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's below deck. You know what? I'm just going to have to forge forward, and if I find it, I find it. Nothing out there. Okay. All right, let me go below decks and see if I can. Actually, let me go into this deck room. Oops. Sorry. I'm a ship inspector. I'm just coming to inspect your, see if you have enough arrows on board. You don't have enough arrows. Instead of writing your ticket, I'm going to give you a bunch of arrows. Excellent. You have the appropriate complement of arrows. Well done, soldier. I will leave you for the day. Oh, I can't get in there. Okay, let's go below decks and see what we can find. Hello? Anybody home? I'm random Khajiit. Oh, there it is. These zones do have a... they are stacked on top of one another, so you can hear arm cops of the twins. That's more... So it is stamina weapon critical. That actually might be a great next set of twin sisters. I had some of that before. If I get more of that level gear, it's a pretty good set as well. It improves my weapon critical and a few things like that. So that's actually not a bad set.
Well, if you're here to end me, do it and be done. Tired of waiting.
I can't tell if they're the same characters. That looks exactly like the orc that I got my house plans from yesterday. Well, I don't think they're the same ones. There is also, I know, over on the Daggerfall Covenant quest line in one of the early starter zones, an orc who wants to sort of forego her clan and get out. I don't think this is the same character, but I don't know. It wouldn't put it past them to have some relation between those characters. I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to free you.
It's about time, Steel and Stone. You've got to get me out of here.
I will.
I've got to reach my Marath.
What the heck is a Marath? I guess that's a husband.
He's there, trapped with the rest of the Talon troops. Has to be. Look, I'm not the one the daggers are after. They're after my Marath.
That's sexist.
I'm just a line officer. Not worth a chase across the ocean.
My God, women
Marath
have more
Ash,
pride.
my husband, is who they're after. Marath was an advisor to King Kurag Gro Orsinium. He wanted out. A real life.
And okay, I'll get
They'll
you out
have
of
set
here.
up to bombard the lighthouse. Standard tactics. So we take out the artillery first.
Gotcha. Well, I think your husband should be happy it's you down here, not him, because I don't know what he would tell me. Hit it with a rock. I'm going with the ladies being the smart ones here. Right.
Bunch of toothless
Orc warrior.
runts.
Okay. I guess that's her husband. I thought he was in the lighthouse, though. I don't kind of quite get what's going on here, but we'll work it out. All right, I have to burn the East Trebuchet, North Trebuchet, and West Trebuchet. A friend of mine who is a amateur historian once told me that there is no evidence of trebuchets being used in historic context in certain locations. I severely doubt that claim. All right. Trebuchets, probably my favorite piece of medieval military equipment, by the way.
Can't believe these troll sons caught me.
I got to make one over the summer with some friends, and it was actually quite enjoyable. It was terrible, but we did throw a stone. We coupled. I gotta get out of there. Ah, damn it. I get to talking and I die. I got plenty of soul stone, so hopefully it's not that bad of a deal. I didn't see them being purple. Oh, they're just gonna shoot me. Stabby, stabby, stabby. And take them out. Let's burn this. Burn it! Burn it! But I made a trebuchet one year with some friends. Really enjoyable. It was a scaled one, but still, it was a lot of fun. Something I actually wouldn't mind doing again if I ever had the chance. What is another quest I can get over here? What is this one?
Stars above, get over here.
Shh. Okay.
Thank Auriel, a friendly face. You're Raz's cohort, aren't you?
Oh yeah, Raz.
I know you by reputation. Look, I'm supposed to be acting as troop support out here, but an elite ranger in the Lion Guard is stalking our people. I need backup. Will you help me? Get the wounded off the field. East of here is a supplies hut with some Covenant uniforms. If you can, pass out those uniforms, and the troops can use them to escape.
Pretty cool.
They're stocking something in the hut off to the west. Might be worth checking out.
Hut to the west.
I and a few other eyes were assigned to an expedition up north. We smuggled a pair of defectors out of Covenant lands, but the thrice damned
that's why I'm here.
Us. Now we just try.
Okay, so to the west, they're stocking up on some kind of ability or something that'll let me get people out. And I've lost, kind of badly designed quest, I guess, because I've lost where everybody else is. So let me burn these trebuchets. I'll go to the west, and it looks like I can find something there. Oop, there's a quest, or chest, excuse me. So we got intermediate, doable. I do these all the time. I don't talk when I'm doing it though, but I don't notice a substantially bigger payout in chests that have intermediate locks. At least it seems close enough, but it's only one level higher, so I'm not sure I actually would notice. But yeah, that's fine. So I haven't been able to open one yet, but I hope the master ones are a lot kind of more fatter in their loot. All right, what else do we have here? So I've burned these other trebuchets. I don't see. There's some storehouse west of here they were talking about. I don't know where that is. There's a trebuchet over there. Just regular Covenant guards. It's sort of embarrassing that they killed me before and I aggroed that guy. Yeah. I need to do better about healing myself. Alright. Almost. Burn this trebuchet. Come on. Alright. One more trebuchet and then I have a... Looks like find Covenant uniforms to the west of here, or to the east of here, excuse me. I know he said something to the west about a warehouse, so I will try to keep an eye out for that. Looks like this, maybe by over this trebuchet. I'll check that building once I get done taking this trebuchet out. Close with these people because why not? See, I keep hitting the wrong key. It's an unfortunate part of my... It's hard to get... You notice someone is doing one of the special abilities in the middle of one of your animations, so you have to wait for it to stop. And often they stop. They stop the window to sort of stop their ability or block them has ended by the time your animation ends. So that's disappointing sometimes.
Steel spit. We need to take out their commander, Bernardine. Only way to make sure they don't keep coming after Moroth.
True. I will take him out in due time. Let me see what else they got here. Stabby. So I'm hoping that there's something in this building at least that that person referred to something west of there where they were. West Supply Building. Let me see what they got.
My Moroth is safe.
Okay, alchemy bottle. That's not very sinister. Got some boxes, some bags, nothing. Some lemons, the sinister lemons of the Daggerfall Covenant. Nothing so far. Pretty boring. Let me see what they got up here. Search. Crafting items, nothing majorly interesting. I don't know what that was all about, honestly. Cooking fire. Yeah, nothing here. I'm not sure what that... I must have misunderstood the quest, which is not hard for me to do. Nothing on the floor, right? Yeah, no secret passages, no floor grates, nothing to step on. More jasmine and seaweed. I don't think that was it. All right, I must have missed it. So let me go back, and I'll take out this north barracks. Let me get the... actually, before I head up there, I'm going to go ahead and get the uniforms to help these soldiers sneak out. You want to shoot me, huh? I'll knock you off there.
No one can take us.
You picked the wrong kitty to shoot with an arrow. But you feel pretty stupid now. All right. Get back across this bridge. I'll find those uniforms, which are marked on my map over on that other side. And once I do that, I will let the other prisoners go. All right. Running, running, running. Lockpicking in Oblivion. Kitty is saying lockpicking in Oblivion was so horrible. I bought a lot of lockpicks and took my chances with the auto lockpick button. Yeah, mini games are hard. I think that they're very hard to design, so people are trying to do something that makes it an active activity, hopefully someone interesting and maybe bring in some skill, but it's not fun to do. I played Oblivion recently. I don't actually recall. I remember Skyrim's lockpicking. That seemed to be a little bit better, but even that was sort of formulaic after a while, and really just came down to your individual skills. Oh, that's that chest that I couldn't get in earlier. That makes sense. It's reserved for a quest. All right. So I've got the uniforms, and I'm supposed to support the troops. As a veteran, I definitely like that. So that's cool. Yeah, Oblivion had some bad mini games. I know some of the Cyberpunk games, they try to put hacking mini games in there. They always come off as lame at best, unfortunately. So let me see what else I have to do. So I just have to find rescue wounded soldiers. Soldiers. There we go. My mouth didn't want to say that for some reason. Haha. Let's see what we got up here. Okay. Where is that person screaming over here? Okay, that makes sense. That was cool. All right, and then what am I supposed to do? Okay, they put on the uniform and then they're gone. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. All right, let me find more of these wounded soldiers and see if I can get them out of here. That's a dead soldier. I don't think they're gonna make it. Doc said you gonna die. Let's see what we got around here. Again, because of my armor set, I can move at full speed while still being stealth. That's really very useful, especially if there's somebody back in there. I'm gonna have to take these 3 people out. Not a problem. Knock you back. No flank now. No flank. Kiting these people, see what I can do. Still having a rough time. I don't know if it's me not paying attention or I'm getting tired or what, but let's see if we can get these soldiers out of here. My goodness. Dude. I am taking way too long to kill these people. I gotta get some better gear. Better gear! Alright, soldier. Let's bandage you up and get you out of here. I'd be interested in sort of hearing any comments from the... if you put any comments in the video about what... I've been trying to rack my brain and think of a good mini game that I might have encountered before. And honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of one. Something that didn't become tedious after a while. If you've played in a game that you thought had a good mini game for anything, it doesn't have to be an Elder Scrolls game. It can be really any game out there. Let me know what that is. I really can't think of it. They've tried some interesting mini games in a lot of games. I know with crafting in EverQuest 2, they really tried to make that a mini game. That's had some interest at first, but it wore off. Lockpicking in most games is pretty lame. Can't say I really enjoyed most of it. So I'm trying to think. I can't think of a mini game that I thought was really outstanding. I don't know, but I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you ever have a mini game that you really was very engaging for you, or something you would recommend? I'd love to hear about it. What made it specifically sort of entertaining for you? What what did you end up doing that more than the regular game? And I have found different parts of games can draw me in. I mentioned I played EVE Online for quite some time. That didn't have mini games so much as different game components, and the community is ultimately what drove me out. The ganking and the sort of griefing and all that stuff. It's fine if that's what the game is built to do, but it's just not what I enjoy. So I chose to spend my time some other way. That person didn't even see me. I don't know what's going on there. They finally did see me. So yeah, what I did with that, it wasn't mini game so much as there was enough depth to the game that by pure gameplay, I could, over 10 years of playing it, just decide I wanted to spend my time in different portions of the game. And that I enjoy. When it's full-fledged gameplay that's multifaceted, I can sort of rotate through parts of the game that entertain me over others as time goes on. What are you doing in there? Is somebody hiding in there? Is that it? Let me see what they say. That is enter the Western Supply Building. What is that quest doing for me? Support the troops. I bet you there's somebody hidden up in there. I'm just going to teleport to them and take them out.
Look up at that lighthouse. What a sight. Hope my Laura is safe.
All right. I already... and most of the... Elder Scrolls Online, when I talk about different facets of the game, I will say that not exactly, it's not multifaceted. So I hope it doesn't wane on me after a while, but the story is certainly good enough to keep me engaged. Kitty was saying Gwent is a fun mini game in The Witcher 3. Actually, believe it or not, I have not played Witcher 3. I played all the way through on Witcher 1. I loved it. For some reason, Witcher 2 couldn't grab me. It just annoyed me, the changes in gameplay. I really liked in Witcher 1 the attempt to do realistic medieval combat, or at least combat styles. Realistic combat's a generous term, but the combat styles used in the game, heavy, light, and medium, were all interesting. It intellectually engaged me, and the story was very deep. I thought the way they handle women in the Witcher series, I'm not a big fan of, but what are you going to do? It's Polish literature. They're very sort of manly, and it's sort of seen misogynistic and a little weird in that respect. But overall, I really like the depth of the game. I love the depth of the gameplay itself. So I never could get into Witcher 2, and Witcher 3 I just haven't gotten around to. It's sort of like that, in my mind, it's like Fallout 4. I want to play it, but I don't want to play it until I know I'm willing to dump tons and tons of hours into it. So we'll see. And I know I'm going to be playing this for a while. I know Mass Effect is coming out, the sequel, that I'm probably going to play the heck out of that and do some live streams of that as I play through, maybe some reaction videos. So we'll see how that evolves. But at least that's where I haven't played Witcher 3, so I'll look out for that Gwent game when I get around to playing it. All right, so what are you doing here?
Arfanel must have sent you. The Queen's eyes see all, eh?
Yes, they do.
Queen bless you, then. I have everything I need from this hut. Was just about to take my leave. Would you do me a favor and clean up?
What?
To make my report.
Are you insane?
These fire salts. The empty crates over there are the perfect kindling. Head to the camp on the bluff when you're done here.
That kind
I'm sure
of cleaning.
Arfanel would wish to thank
Why didn't you say so? That is right up my alley. All right, so I got to burn this place to the ground. Love it. Empty supply crates. Dry supply crates. All right, let me get out of here now. Talk to Ariel on the bluff. Where is that? Is that outside the region? There's a door over here. Let me see what that is. I think that's the lighthouse, actually. The North Beacon. So I'll go ahead and rescue this this orc. As I take these people out. And go ahead and stab him. Block. Stabby, stabby, stabby. Level 23, good. Now I'm really out-leveled my gear. I'll worry about that at a different time. take these people out. Let me get up to this lighthouse and get this quest wrapped up. Yeah, if I remember right, Gwent in The Witcher is a card game, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that could be okay. There was like a Sabak game that's sparking my memory, I think, in Knights of the Old Republic, something like that. There was a mini-game card game that I remember being somewhat entertaining. You could do a little gambling on it. Now, granted, I didn't spend that much time on that mini-game, but the game itself was obviously wonderful. All right, let's see what I got in here. North Beacon Barracks. I believe that's where we're holding this orc's husband. Treasure. Any treasure? Just crafting supplies. Where are we going? So I know I need to kill this captain, which I'm going to guess is upstairs. That would be a very captainly place, would it not? Probably in the center. If they're a purple mob, it probably means they're going to kill me a whole lot, but oh well. Yeah, there they are. Purple mob. All right. I'm going to switch to my bow, and I'm mostly going to take them on with daggers.
Traitor shows her true colors.
Yeah, that's me.
Principles transcend loyalty. Let that be my final lesson.
Boy, I am really stinking on this bow. What happened? It disappeared. Oh, that's frustrating. I bet you it reset. Yep, it reset. Oh, that is frustrating as heck. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just switch to my dagger as soon as I can. And as soon as they get close to me anyway. I'll do 3 shots with this.
Let that be my final lesson.
And I'll have to sort of rely on my backstabby and running ability to get around this person. Whoa! That hurt. Use my bow healing ability that I got before. That worked well. I'll roll around. I want to back up again and reset them. That would be really frustrating. Aha! Alright, well, bow worked there. That's not bad. What do they got in here? Treasure, treasure, treasure. Treasure. Give me something, give me something. What do I got in here? North Beacon. Open. That wasn't where the quest told me to go, so let me see if there's anything I need to worry about. Alright, I guess I could have gone out either way. That's fine. Oh my goodness. Oh, not another wounded person. They should at least stop once you get them all out. Alright, so I can escort Laza to the lighthouse. I'm going to guess that's where we do. Let me see what's up with this other person before I head up there, just in case these quests coincide. So I'm supposed to meet this other person that I just rescued the troops for on the ridge, and I'm hoping that sort of brings the whole thing to an end together. Yeah, I'll sneak through. So I don't take up too much time fighting. It's good to see groups. I see a lot of groups playing together in this game. That's probably more so than every other game I've ever been in. People tend to be very solo-oriented. This is the one where I see tons of groups running around together. Let's see, NPC stopped and then to fight this person. And that's fairly healthy. I know you can have multiple guilds in this game. That's something I really enjoy about the game. That you're not just stuck with one guild, because I'm fairly intolerant of bad guilds in most cases, because you can only be in one. So if they're sort of jerks or they're not doing anything, certainly if they're jerks, actually I'll leave guild no matter what. But if they don't do a whole lot or they're not together, and that's fair. A lot of people have jobs and they can't run these big events. Often in the past, I would just quit the guild and try to find one, because what's the point if they're not doing anything? But since you can have multiple guilds. Where's she going? Where's that person? She's up above me. She's on the bluff up there? Okay, well, I guess these aren't related quests, so I'm going to do it after I get this orc husband rescued. I'm going to take it over the bridge, though, to see if there's anything new or interesting to discover over there. As I was saying, so you can be in multiple guilds. I'm only in one, but they're a nice enough group of people. They're just getting started, maybe not as organized as you want. They could put more tools in place, but at least I did run a dungeon with some of them the other day. I mentioned they've seen this content a million times. So we did run it really quick, and I'd love to get in a group that did a more leisurely dungeon runs, but one thing at a time. But because of the multiple guild feature of it, you don't have to choose. I can be in one guild and another. So I can choose to be in a role-playing guild and a sort of a trial guild and have sort of guilds that have different aspects to them, and it doesn't limit you. So I actually really enjoy that. That's an enabling feature for players, and anything that enables more socialization, brings down the tension of one group having to be all things to one player. I think that's a really wise move, and I'd love to see that in other guilds as well. Something that drives that home to be even more important in this game is the fact that there is no world market, which surprised me. It still surprises me to this day. There is no auction house for the world as a whole. The auction house is each individual guild can choose. I'm guessing they can rent. Excuse me, I just kicked my mic there. Sorry about that. Each individual guild can choose to rent I'm assuming it's rent or buy a vendor that sits in one of the major cities, and people can go to that guild trader and buy items off of that guild trader. At least that's the way it looks to work from the outside. So a lot of people are driven to get into trade guilds, one that will have that, and they're really all about sort of crafting and trading and the mercantile aspect of the game. And that's pretty cool because they're not empty, which is the first thing I think I would be afraid of. The other thing I'd be afraid of is that people monopolize the market too much. But because there's several guild traders and there's not one encompassing guild market, it actually has an interesting effect in the in-game economy. Nobody's able to corner the market, at least not as far as I can see. Each guild trader has a bit of a different personality, but they're useful enough that people actually use them, and they don't end up being these wastelands of never used sort of vendors. So it's an interesting game design aspect that I think's worth keeping track of for other games if people were to design them. It keeps the market more dynamic. It keeps sort of cornering the market and market manipulation down a little bit at least. I mean, it's still there, and the general game economy seems to be skewed towards players who have been around for a long time. So for me, that makes things stink a little bit and it's hard to get gear. But it's not as sort of rancid as you see in most sort of world auction houses in other MMOs. So I think it's an interesting aspect of the game. Do you have, if you have experience with the market, I would love to hear sort of your take on whether you think it's effective, whether you think it's a good game design, and how that changes your gameplay experience. I see Kitty talking about the highest bidder gets the guild vendor for a specific period. That would make sense. That's very EVE Online-ish. You'd have to bid between them, and different prime locations come at different prices. That would seem to make sense. I'm still sort of interested in learning that mechanic, so eventually I'm going to have to get into a guild that does some guild trading. But right now, I appreciate the impact that it has on my gameplay and doesn't pigeonhole me into one guild where I have to really start debating on whether I even want to have a multiple guilds or not. What is going on here with this quest icon? Am I supposed to go down here? Is that it? That's frustrating. Alright, let me kill these soldiers and get them out of my way. And I am looking to wrap this stream up after this quest, so it's gone on a little longer. Sorry about that, folks. So, especially if you stayed around this long for the end of the archive, or people in the chat room, I appreciate you being here. It's great to see you here again. Sorry this is taking so long, and my attention is beginning to stray. I can sense it. So sorry I'm not being particularly interesting, but let me sort of get through this set of quests to see what the end story is. I would love to save this little orc lady and her husband. And I just want to say I think she's doing most of the work, so I don't get this. Her husband would be better thing. Looks like the bluff I needed to get to for that other quest is up here, so that's actually kind of neat. Alright. That thing where I jump twice, that's actually a mistake. I keep meaning to hit my finishing move, but I end up hitting my jump teleport instead, which is what I want to open with, but not the best move for a finisher. I mean, I have a finisher, so why not use it? So I keep missing it. I either hit 5, which is that key that I just hit there, which sends me into stealth mode, or I hit 3, which is that teleport. All right.
As long as we take 5 or 6 of them with us, I'm happy.
Sounds good. I'm happy too. All right, I guess that arrow's pointing to the path I'm supposed to be going on. That makes sense. All right. Nothing in those crates. This is where the talons, I think they were called, that woman's units were held up. So, we've rescued the troops. We're here to relieve them. One of these women, this one person, I think is the scout I talked to earlier.
To escape.
Managed to bag my ranger, and Cariel here has been telling me about your exploits.
Some of the troops made it off the field, and we destroyed their supply hut.
Being in
Excellent.
the eyes isn't always about high-profile hijinks, eh?
Yes, it is. What are you talking
Still,
about?
I think you'll agree. Even support can be rewarding.
All right. Completed that quest. I'm pretty close to having completed all the quests in this zone, which is nice. Let's see what this scroll says. Diplomatic corpse notice regarding the Khajiit. Do not refer to them as cats. Do not serve them their food intended for pet cats. That's good advice right there. If you own a pet cat, do not call Khajiit by your cat's name. Do not attempt to grab the tail unless permission is granted. Regarding our friends, the Wood Elves, do not ask the Wood Elves about their vegetables or their recipes. I think that's just good advice. A little problem with racism in this world. All right, so this is that woman's lighthouse beacon. Let me see what we have here.
You're safe. Are you hurt?
I'm fine. You have a soul of steel, my love.
May he always keep us together.
All right.
First forge! We made it!
You fought well.
And you, my new friend.
War Mage
Without
Cal.
you,
Excellent. And
On
enter the
this,
banished cells.
we must take our leave to Skywatch. A portal shall take us there quickly.
I'm going to take this portal to Skywatch. See what happens. Well, that wraps up the quest for the most part, except for the Undaunted quest and so forth on this, the original island. And this is considered the early zone island, not the starter islands, but I love the storyline. I think they were great. Razum Dar is a fantastic character, something I really enjoyed. Let me see what I'm supposed to do here. Who am I supposed to talk to here? This is talk to Captain Jilma of Skywatch. That's to get me to the next stage. So yeah, I don't need to do that. That's for my next stage, going over to Gratwood. That's great. I really enjoyed I saved the queen. I stopped a few invasions. There were a couple demonic invasions. That was very enjoyable. So thank you so much if you joined me for this stream again. It'll appear about a day. It should appear on the YouTube archive if you're watching this over here, or you've watched it here on Twitch. Thank you so much for showing up. Leave some comments if you have suggestions for improvements on the show. If you stayed with me all the way to the end, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Leave a comment with hashtag Stabby Cat. How about that? If you've made it all the way to the end, I'll know you made it to the end of this video, which is quite a haul today. I really appreciate the time that you spent here. Again, I don't intend for this to become my profession or job. It's just something I'm doing, I'm enjoying, but I do want to get better at it. So if you have suggestions for content for the show, for format, for things I can add, for things I can do differently, I would love to hear that from you, and I would really appreciate that feedback. I tried to not jump around as much this time. That was one of the pieces of feedback I got, so I appreciate that. Warm sands to you, Backstab Kitty. It was great having you in the chat again. I will try to stream one time this weekend. I'm traveling a bit for work next week, but I'll try to get 1 or 2 streams out next week as well. So thank you again. Watch the Twitch stream, Twitch channel feed for updates. I'll try to post a day ahead of time if I'm going to stream the next day, so there's some kind of notice. And I'll post to Twitter as well. Go ahead and feel free to follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch if you want. You can go ahead over to the YouTube channel as well. I'm Streamweaver on all those locations. On Twitter, I'm Streamweaver. Here, I'm Streamweaver on Twitch, and I'm Streamweaver as well over on YouTube. So go ahead, feel free to follow me or drop a like on any of the videos. Drop any comments that you have about the videos. I'd love to hear your feedback again. Like I said, thank you so much for joining me, and that is our adventure for today. Until next time, this is Streamweaver, and thank you for joining me.